Hey, Shalom, Markins, Rakam, Akapash from GMS London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahawashi, Ba'Hashem, Chachwadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful expression of truth and all sincerity. Alright, back again with another video. I just wanted to go into, the spirit of these other camps, these other Israelite camps that you see out there, in their different, different shades and or whatever, right? They all got their quirky spirits and gimmicks about them, how they behave. A lot of them are in a mirth type of spirit. When you look back at their antics over the years. But my what I want to address is the way these guys act. Would if Yahawashi was here with us today, would the Yahawashi be acting the same way? Right? Would Yahawashi be acting the same way as these other guys? Really making mockery of the truth. Really, following their own agendas. These guys are more about making money and parading this lifestyle, this glamorous lifestyle of an Israelite man. Where it would be, well, I'm probably going to end up speaking mostly about the IUIC probably. Some of the Sakari, some of the ISUPK, but do you think Yahawashi would be behaving the way these guys behave? And what I'm referring to is like things like let's start with the IOIC, yeah, screw it. Right? Their elaborate Passovers, man, which is really nothing more than a party, right? Lamb dinner, right? You think Yahawashi will be attending fashion shows, supporting the sisters. Yeah, go sister. Yeah, rock that dress, rock them fringes. You think Yahawashi is gonna be, sitting around watching or putting on some fashion shows? You think Yahawashi gonna be sitting there and up in the production room, making movies, making rap videos? Could you imagine? Fucking hell. You think that's what Yahawashi would be doing? You think Yahawashi would approve? Auctioning auctioning sisters on the Passover, to be married to killers, as they put it. All right, you think Yahawashi would be down with that? Or let me think. What else is going on? Yeah, Nate rolling around on horses. Here it is. Yahawashi came in on the ass, and Nate put himself on a horse. You think Yahawashi is gonna sit there looking like, what's this dude on, man? You really think Yahawashi would be approving of the way you guys act and how you take this ministry, man? Because yeah, man are more of a business than they are, teachers. Making all this filthy lucre, man. Nate was selling breakdowns at one point. At the beginning, if you want the rest of the breakdown, come on the website and buy this and buy that. You think Yahawashi would be happy with that? Or what about the Sakari holding the Passover in a fucking club, in a strip bar, whatever the fuck it was, man, titty bar, with a bunch of fucking twerkers. You think Yahawashi was gonna sit there with you after the Passover? Boy, well, I would have dread to think what the Lord would have done. Now, I was gonna mention the whole Sky with the guns at camp and all that kind of stuff, man. But the Lord had men, have swords on them and things like that. But living in the time we do, in the laws that we have to kind of abide by in each sort of system. I mean, it's different in the States. Different states got different laws and whatever. Here in the UK, you can't hold a knife. You can't hold a knife. You can't even get away with having a fisticuff, man. But there ain't nothing unlawful with that. But at the same time, it ain't something that the disciples and the apostles were going around, showing off. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to be hard. trying to look hard. Don't fuck with me type thing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fuck your shit up. The apostles and disciples weren't going around like that. It was for protection only, man. It was concealed. It's concealed. It wasn't for everyone to know. Because they weren't out here trying to put on a bravado and mess with people's egos and shit, man. They weren't trying to do that, man. They were trying to get on with their things quietly, man. But perilous times and all that kind of stuff, right? I know shit goes down there, but you kind of inviting the shit onto yourself a lot of the time with this whole bravado shit. What else now? What else? Again, yeah, with the rap videos and stuff, man. I can't imagine Yahawashi posting up in a in a rap video, man. Talking the hardest, right? Never been a weak Jew and all this stuff, man. I just can't, right? And the spirit just ain't right with these other accounts, man. They ain't all the way there, man. ISBK, I don't even know much of their antics, man. But then they talk some crazy shit sometimes, concerning scriptures and stuff like that. I'm not really sure about their antics, but I know Cesario, he on things greater than God, so he on his business venture. So they all kind of put in this money first, man. And Yahawashi is not and would not have been about that. Right, Yahawashi would have been disapproving of all these things. But when we guys get on you, beginning of our and apostles, man, it's like, oh, we're the villain. Like, we just don't want Israelites to have fun. Well, this ain't the time for fun. This is fucking supposed to be time. This is time for working. Right, this ain't time for fun, man. We're in captivity. This place is not our rest, man. And that's not to say that you don't have no downtime. We're not saying that, man. But downtime is private time. You know what I'm saying? You're out here pushing this image of this is what the truth's about, or this is what we're about, kind of thing. The IYC, they love that image of themselves. And they like pushing that because it brings in people. It does, because most people are on all that mirth shit, or on the folly. So of course it attracts people in, but it don't attract the right people in. We're looking for the elect, man, and the elect, man, they're serious dudes. They're about this truth, man, and because that's the spirit the Most High put upon them. To be about this word, no matter what. But you guys are withholding the word. You're diluting the word. You're taking things out, adding things in. You're not really about the word, man. The Lord is not really dealing with these other camps. Okay, though they may be elect out of them, that may come out of them, but the spirit in these camps ain't right. All right, so what I wanted to do is just get into a few scriptures about, the kind of characteristics of the Lord. All right. So I'm gonna just start here in Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Oh no, I'm not. I'm lying. Where I wanted to start was down here, Luke 19 and 21. All right. And this is a parable that the Lord was speaking, right? But obviously the master, the Lord, what did it say? Yeah, the Lord, okay, represents Yahawashi, right? And the guy that hid his talent in a napkin, right? And what did the Lord say to this dude? Right? Or what did he say to the Lord, right? It says Luke 19 and 20. It says, and another came saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound which I have kept laid up in a napkin. Which he hid the truth. He didn't increase. Okay, he won't, he didn't go out there and make it more. Right, he kept it to himself. All right, it says, for I feared thee, right, because thou art an austere man. Okay, Yahawashi was an austere man. All right, thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. And he saith unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Okay, he didn't want to do the work. He didn't want to make that profit. And I'm not talking about money here. We're talking about men. We're talking about laborers, okay, in this ministry. Okay, he was given knowledge, he was given a talent. Okay, in your in your amount, in your allotted amount. Okay, and you're meant to go out there and teach what you know, right, and teach others. Bring in more laborers. That's what we're supposed to do. But more specifically, the elect. That's what we were meant to be bringing in. Not just anybody. Should just say, as many are called, few are chosen, right? So we're out there calling to the people, and whoever this truth takes hold on. Okay, the Lord has to ultimately open their eyes, and then put them in the path that they're supposed to be on. But ultimately we're already out here looking for the elect, right? It says, and he saith unto them, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knowest or knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore then gavest thou not thou money into the bank, and at thy coming I might have required mine own with usury. Right? If we just left, he would have got interest on that. But with you can get nothing. Right? You're unprofitable servants, right? He said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound and give it to him that have £10. He's taking your part out of this ministry, man. You ain't a faithful servant. And that happens to a lot of guys. Okay, over the years of falling out this truth, man. All right, the spirit that was on them is no longer on them, and then they're just out there in the world doing whatever the hell they're doing now, waiting for destruction. And that spirit, whatever, goes on another brother, or whatever the case may be, and that work continues, man. All right. It says, for I say unto you that everyone which have shall be given, and from him that have not, even that he have shall be taken away from him. All right, but those my enemies which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. Right, so the Lord's a serious dude, right? He's about seriousness, right? He's on his job, innit? All right, and I know, brothers, like I said, we get together from time to time. We crack some yarn, crack some drinks, some food, and whatever. We reason, we have a little joke. We reason in the scriptures, in the spirit and all that kind of stuff, right? But that is mostly as far as it goes, man. You might do a little thing outside here and there to kind of, in your downtime to kind of relax or whatever. But our life isn't filled with laughing and joking, man. It just isn't. It isn't filled with that at all. A lot of stuff just stresses us out, man. A lot of time we're vexed most of the time, annoyed, or we're very sober and solemn most of the time, man. But even still, it's hard to imagine Yahawashi cracking jokes and laughing and that. He probably did at times. Maybe. I'm not sure if there's a scripture the Lord busting a smile or a laugh, but maybe he did. But he was a very serious man. Perhaps any more serious than any of us. You know what I'm saying? So it was a crazy thing, to be around him. So here's an account from Book of John, chapter 2. And let's see. Verse 13, and the Jews' Passover was at hand, and Jesus, or Yahawashi, went up to Jerusalem and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves and changes of money sitting. Right? And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changes money, and overthrew the tables. Right, so Yahawashi lost his shit over what he witnessed, man. He was vexed in the spirit, okay, because that's all part of prophecy, man. To show his passion, man. He's angry. And he said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence, make not my father's house a house of merchandise, right? And these other camps are done that. Okay, we are the temple of the Lord. Right, we don't have a physical temple anymore, so that is what it is. But we are the temple, right? And these guys have made the house of the Lord a place of merchandise, man. Especially IAYC, man. They're probably the biggest offenders in that regards. You know, they've been on that since pretty much the beginning, since they've been on YouTube. I mean, I don't know how far it all goes back, but these guys have been about making money, and numbers came out recently with how much Nate's worth and all that kind of stuff. If it's all true or whatever, it's not a small amount of money they're paying with, right? They're beyond common men. You know what I'm saying? Well, I speak for Nate, probably not the whole congregation, obviously, but they've been about making that money, man, and that's why they're always into new things and trying to do this and trying to do that, because it increases their revenue, man. It increases their coffers. The more people in IAYC, the more money they get. The more garments they can sell, the more money they can get. Or we can make movies, we can make CDs, we can make this, we can make that. All to further what money's coming in, man. Build a school, increase their fame or whatever, man. That's what it's been about for them, man. And I say people are attracted to all this stuff because it's the same thing Negro's always been attracted to, man. They're looking for something away in Babylon. They're looking for a way in Babylon, man. And we're just not meant to be looking for a way in Babylon. But Nate's providing things that appeal to Negroes and all that kind of stuff, man, because it's in this world. And it's the things that these Negroes want to do. Right? But we don't want a part of this world. We want a part in the next. So to hell with all of this, man, all this, the glamour and the glitz and that. We don't need none of that stuff. We don't need to apply it to this ministry. We don't need to do that. And that upsets a lot of you Jake out there that are watching the videos because we seem boring. You know what I mean? We seem boring. Because we ain't doing none of that stuff, man. Hell, we're not even having, we're getting into arguments and fist fights, that kind of stuff anymore. Back in the day, like getting into altercations and that, because we're just not engaging with these demons anymore, man. Okay, we're here for the elect. Right, we've been there and done all that stuff, man. And it just, what's it doing, man? These people have been condemned already. Why do we need to go 3-4 more rounds with them, man? They're finished already, man. All right, the elect are going to get this truth, man, no matter where they are, no matter where we are. But Negroes like the entertainment, they like the altercations and whatever. They like the drama. Right, but we're not here to supply you with drama, man. Okay, we're not here for that. All right, but anyway, yeah, read that again. Verse 16, he said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence, make not my father's house a house of merchandise. But like I said, it seems like all these camps are, trying to surround themselves with money and selling this and buying that and whatever. All right. Isaiah 53 and verse 3. Pardon me, right? Verse 2, and this is speaking on Yahawashi, right? And this is in the Old Testament. Pardon me, right? It's in the Old Testament. So Yahawashi is being spoken about in the Old Testament. For those of you that don't believe that. Right? This is a prophecy concerning him. Right? Verse 2, it says, For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He have no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. Right? So he's not going to beguile us with his image, how his looks, because he's a beautiful man. People want to hear him like Absalom. Absalom was that, right? And he what's the word, man? He beguiled. He led others because people, well, it sounds like homo thing now, but they were attracted to him. They thought, oh, he's a comely looking man, like, And same like women. People, they follow women and they follow after good looking women. People follow after good looking men too. It's, I don't know, inherent with some type of success, right? That people just follow, they're attracted to, right? So he didn't come like that. Okay, that you would just follow him just because he was a good looking man or whatever. It was about his substance. It was everything about the Lord, right? He was only gonna bring the followers that were assigned to him, i.e. the elect, right? It weren't just going to be a whole bag of man or bag of people, right, that were going to follow the Lord. It's going to be the elect that believed in the Lord. You know, and it's the same with us. We're not here because to look good, because we're commonly looking, because we got all the nice garments and the eloquent words. This is not about all of that. Okay, we're not here to put on a show for you. We're not out here to appeal to all people. Okay, we're here strictly for the elect's sake. Paul even said that I do all things for the elect's sake. Right, so to hell how you feel about us and what we're doing, how we're doing it. You don't think we're doing it right, to hell of all of that, man. We don't really give a damn. You know? Anyway, it says, he is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows. Right, so Yahawashi was in a sorrowful state. Like I said, Yahawashi was a serious dude, man. Like I said, I'm not sure. You know, he's too keen on cracking jokes and laughing and that kind of stuff. I don't know. You know, but he was a man, as it says, acquainted with grief. Right? You can tell he was a very solemn man. You know? Like a burdened like man. He had having things on his mind. Constantly, you know? So a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, and we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Right? So Yahawashi was despised, he was hated. Okay, a lot like us. Alright? So surely he have borne our griefs. Right? Because he carries the sin of the nations upon him, man. Because he was gonna have to sacrifice himself. He was gonna sacrifice himself for his people, man. Right? That was a heavy burden he had, right, to fulfill. So surely you have borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord have laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed, and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. All right. So, like I said, Yahawashi was in a different kind of mental state, man. You know, completely different to us. Right. It says, he was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people he was stricken. He made his grave with the wicked, and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Right, so Yahawashi wasn't a violent man. I know he ran those guys out of the temple, but he wasn't a violent man. Okay, he was a peaceable man, just like we're commanded to be, if it be possible, right? We're not out here to butt heads with people, like in terms of getting into fights. Okay, it's a different thing if trouble comes your way, but we're not out here to start fights and to lay people out and all that kind of business. All right. Where is it? Okay. Verse 10, yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him, he hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hands. I'll just finish it off, right? So he shall see of the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many. Okay, many of the Israelites, beginning with the elect, right? For he shall bear their iniquities. Right? And this is what has given us this grace. Okay? So therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong. Okay, he's going to share the spoil with his elect. Okay, those that have been made heirs. Okay? Because he hath poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. right? So you can see that the Most High was not, you can say the Most High, Yahawashi was in a different state of mind, man. Like I say, he was acquainted with grief, right? His time on the earth wasn't a pleasant one, you know. This is Luke 22 and verse 44. Let's see now. Verse 41, right? This is in the Garden of Gethsemane. Okay, Yahawashi was praying to the Heavenly Father, before his, before his crucifixion, before his sacrifice was to be made, right? And he said here, and he was withdrawn from them about stones cast and kneeled down and prayed, saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me, right? Remove this, what's the word I want to use now? Crap. Basically, remove what your plan, to change the plans what you had for me, because he knows obviously he had to be crucified and it was going to be painful. He was going to be hung up there and made fun of and beat on and stuff. He knew all this stuff was going to happen to him, right? Basically, remove this fate from me, this destiny from me, and change it up for me or whatever, right? He says, nevertheless, not my will, but thine will be done, right? So Yahawashi has always maintained that he's here to do the will of his Father, right? That's why he said, if thou willed it, take this cup from me. But if not, if this is your will and this is what you want to do, then fine, I'll do it. Verse 43, and there appeared an angel unto him from heaven, strengthening him, right? Because again, Yahawashi was in the flesh, so he felt this. He felt the things that we feel. Yahawashi was perfect because he overcome the flesh, right? He overcome the flesh, but he experienced and suffered all those things that we suffer in the flesh. So of course the Lord is feeling anxious, man. Feeling hella anxious. Could you imagine? That brothers get anxious for stuff that's going on in their lives, man, but it's not even at the level that Yahawashi had to go on, fear and that kind of stuff. He was worried, concerned, like he didn't want to feel all that pain and go for that really, but he was here to do the will of the Lord. And same for brothers in this truth, man. There's a lot of things we would rather not happen to us, but we're prepared, Lord willing, we're prepared to go through it in order to please the Lord, man, to do the will of the Heavenly Father, to be saved. There's things that we have to come to terms with in this truth, man, because this truth isn't about fun and games, man. This thing is serious, man. Okay, lives is on the line here. And there's things that tribulations that we have to go through, man, in order to get to the end, man. Things the Lord's going to require of us, man, to do and to sacrifice and all these things, man, to suffer. Right? And I think a lot of these guys forget about that. I think they forget about that, man. This is a walk of suffering, right? And sacrifice. And there's something I don't think the congregation really focuses on at all. Okay, but it's made clear to us, us brothers in GMS, from my elders and apostles, beginning of the apostle Tahar on down. Pardon me. That we are to expect these things. This isn't a fucking, I don't know, community club or whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? This is an Israelite party. This is not an Israelite party, man. Okay, we're laborers, right? Here to do a job, right? To fulfill the will of the Heavenly Father, man. And there's a lot of hardship on that road. All right. Anyway. So yeah, there appeared an angel unto him from heaven, strengthening him. Okay, Spirit came down and helped him, right? Girded his loins, right? And being in an agony, right? He was in pain. Like, this is how stressed that Lord was at the time. He was in pain, right? And being in an agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was great drops of blood falling down to the ground. Right. So the Lord, like I said, was heavily stressed, man. Anxious, you know. And when he rose up from prayer and was come to his disciples, he found them sleeping for sorrow. Right. The man fell asleep again. Right. But that was the spirit, because it all led up to Yahawashi being captured. Right. So, like I said, it's a man under heavy stress, man, under heavy burden, and he was always aware of that. He was acutely aware of that, man. Okay, so like I said, I can't imagine him, being up in the club after the Passover, doing whatever, man. I don't care where it was, strip club, regular club, bowling club, I don't care, right? I can't imagine Yahawashi being around you guys, man. I just can't. Knowing who the Lord is, this isn't a game, man. This is not an excuse to act out your Negro lives, within the Israelite community, man. This isn't what this is supposed to be for. Fucking fashion shows and shit. That's what all that shit's worldly, man. Like, what is the need for it? There is no need for it. Other than to appeal to Negroes, right? Not to do that, to appeal to Negroes. It's Luke 9 verse 41. What's up from 40? And I besought thy disciples to cast him out, and they could not. And Yahawashi answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you and suffer you? Bring thy son hither, right? So the Lord was getting pissed off a lot of time. I was getting stressed out, dealing with us, man. Because, we're a bit hard-headed, we're a bit, we ain't all right. You know what I'm saying? Some of us have got quirks, man, you got to deal with, right? But, sometimes we stress at the Lord. Because of our inability to do certain things, man, that should be expected of us at certain times, and it goes, and it works the same way now. That there's brothers in this truth, man, and I put myself in that in this category too. Sometimes you just ain't performing like you're supposed to be performing, man. You're letting the team down, you're letting yourself down, letting the Lord down. You know what I mean? You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing all the time. And when you see brothers fall short, when you fall short, man, you get pissed off with yourself, right? You get pissed off with the brothers. It's like, what the fuck, what you doing? What the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? And so the Lord felt the same way, man. Like what the hell, man? Like I said, I don't quote me, but I don't know any scripture where it speaks about the Lord busting jokes and laughing, man. I just I can't remember singing it, right? But there's a lot of things showing you, man, that he's very distressed. The Lord was very distressed, man. With what he was having to deal with, man. All right. And like I said, if he was here now, it would be the same thing. Having to deal with this place, having to deal with people, brothers, and certain bullshit that goes on. The Lord would be stressed out with shit, man. He'd be stressing the Lord out. He'd be vexed about certain things, man. He'd be getting cursed out and shit. That's what would be going on right now, man. And if he saw some of the shit, not that he doesn't see it, but obviously he's up in the heavens right now. But if he was down here, man, and he saw that shit, man, you'll be ones getting fucking ran out of the place, man. Yeah, I wish I put hands on you, man. he ain't a violent man, but But what I mean, man. I'm jesting a little bit, but I wish I would not approve of some of the things that brothers be doing out here, man. Brothers in these different camps and whatever. He just wouldn't be, right? And like I said, you can have your own private downtime and whatever. You can do that in it. That's your own prerogative, man. But as a public thing, as for for to present to Israel, man, and with all this kind of madness, concerning with the high holidays and all things like that, man, bro, that's just not right, innit? It just ain't right. You do your own thing in your own time, not on the Lord's time. Yeah. All right. This is Matthew 8, verse 20. Saying, Yahawashi saith unto him, the foxes have holes, and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head, right? Yahawashi had no certain dwelling place. He was always on the move, right? Never know, never really knew where he was going to be staying, that kind of stuff. And that kind of condition, that's stressful in itself, man. I know he's moving in the spirit, he's trusting in the Lord. He was just going. He wasn't really concerned like that. But he wasn't a man that was accustomed to, let's say, luxury living, in it, where man knows he can go and lay down in a soft bed. Brothers is lucky. Brother get to go home, go sleep in the bed most of the time. And I can't speak for every brother's conditions, but I would imagine most brothers get to go home and lie in the bed, or couch or whatever, man. But he said that might not have been the case with Yahawashi all the time, man. He had no certain dwelling place, no certain place to go to. No place he could consider like home. Because Yahawashi was never in one place, right, for too long, right? It's Book of John, chapter 6. Is this the one? 1 second. Yeah, this was it, right? John chapter 6, verse 14 says, and those men, this is after he multiplied the bread and the fish, I believe. If I'm correct. Yeah. Right. So verse 14 says this, and then those men, when they had seen the miracle that Yahawashi did, said, this is of a truth that prophet that should come into the world, right? And Yahawashi therefore perceived that they would come and take him by force to make him a king, right? And this is another thing. It's the pride and the status, right? These other camps want to receive in this world, man. Like as I said, niggas riding around on horses. They want the accolades, man. Yahawashi, it wasn't time, right? So Yahawashi, he was trying to not be associated with that, right then. Yes, he was our king. Yes, he was the Lord, right? But it wasn't time for him to be made king, right? So he wasn't even trying to, receive them kind of accolades and them sort of titles, man, to like elevate himself. Because it wasn't about that. The same way this truth isn't about that. It isn't about elevating ourselves and receiving titles and accolades and that to make ourselves feel important. And Yahawashi is a better man than any of us, right? All these titles and accolades shit, man, gets to people's heads, man. I.e. Nate up on the high horse, right? And super high priest Alizé, you know what I'm saying? Like super high chief priest, General Hunter, the holy commanding general in Israel, whatever. All these titles and accolades to make people themselves feel important. The God sent comforter, you know what I mean? They all do it. They all want to feel important, man. They want their congregations to fucking idolize them, because that's what they're doing, man. They're being idolized, man, and you can see it, especially on IUIC's current board, man. How much they fucking idolize Nate, and no one trying to nip that in the bud. No one trying to say nothing. No one trying to put a stop to that. Okay, Yahawashi himself was trying to put a stop to them trying to make him king. Like he didn't want none of that. He didn't want any of it, man. We're not here to feed our prides and our egos. But these guys, they can't help themselves. All right. So yeah, so when Yahawashi therefore perceived that they would come and take him by force to make him a king, he departed again into a mountain himself alone. He just ducked out. He shunned the idea of being elevated at that time, because it wasn't time. Okay, it's not our time for us to be elevated. Okay, Yahawashi has to receive his glory first. Okay, our glory shall follow if we be of the elect, right? We're not here to glorify ourselves, man. Yahawashi hasn't been glorified on the earth yet. You know? He'll wait in his time. We all have to wait. Everybody's jumping the gun. You know? But this is men. This is, men in the flesh, the corruptible men, and these things, it destroys them, it corrupts them. Pride and ego, self-importance. And the humility goes out the fucking window, man. Yahawashi was humble, like, come on, man. And we're all meant to be like that. All right, just a couple more, right? Just yeah, right. It's, actually, it's in the same. That's not Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 2, right? It says, "It is better to go into the house of mourning than to go into the house of feasting." Like I said, these guys got a heavy bias, a heavy bias towards mirth. Anything to do with mirth and celebrating something or hyping up something, or that spirit is all up in these other camps, man. Right? But it's better to go into the house of mourning than to go into the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter. Right? So you don't think Yahawashi was mostly in a mourning state, mostly in a solemn state? I got the feeling that he was, man. Like I say, you can show me scriptures that the Lord's busting jokes and all that kind of stuff. Like, I know he had what was he at a wedding, and he was there with the wine and stuff like that. But to me, that doesn't sound quite the festive situation. Like how I was having such a great time like that. It doesn't sound like that sort of situation. But he was around, didn't it? Yeah, man. These other camps are heavily biased into mirth, man, and making any opportunity, any excuse to revel, man. To fill themselves with pride and folly. It says sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. Right, and like I said, Yahawashi was always in that solemn state. He was in a serious state. It says the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. Right? And like I said, them Israelite parties and Israelite cookouts, and like I said, ain't nothing wrong having a barbecue and thing. You know what I mean? Like, ain't nothing wrong with that. Sharing a drink with your brother and stuff, and breaking bread and all that kind of thing. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But when you make your organizations that kind of like, that's what you parade and advertise your organizations as, man. That's not the right spirit. You're deceiving the people, man. That's not the spirit. I mean, it's not really deception in your heart, because that's probably what you're really all about. But it's a deception that, that's what this truth is about, and it's not about that. It's not about that at all. Okay, not even close. Right? But people are drawn in by these things, and that's why these other camps use it. Because it draws people in, it draws the people in, it draws the money in. Okay, that's why, if it's to be believed, Nate's worth whatever he's worth, right? Big money, right? It draws all that stuff in, and that is what basically that is all about. It ain't about this truth. Okay, it's about their business, their enterprises, right? Yeah, you're gonna find some of the truth there. You can find some of the truth there, but it's not 100%, man. And it seems like these guys purposely avoid the 100% truth, man. They know it. These leaders know it. Okay? In my opinion, they're sellouts, man. They've sold out. And they're purposely avoiding key topics. So you ain't going to receive the whole truth from them, man. They're going to give you a semblance of the truth, man. But other than that, it's about them making money. So it's better to hear the rebuke of the wise, right, than for a man to hear the song of fools. Ooh, right? Because here at GMS, speaking about elders and apostles, man, this is why we get on you guys. We rebuke you guys, man, for you to be right, right? To get right, to do the right thing. And you guys get pissed off that we're always, commenting and saying things, right? New moons, new moon, what the new moon is, when the Passover is, and what you should be doing in the past. Like, what should be doing on the Sabbath. And guys get annoyed because you want to do what you want to do, man, because you're in this fucking party spirit and do as thou wilt spirit. But we're here to correct you. Okay, we're here to correct you, man. That is our job. Okay, we are the house of the wise, beginning with our elders and apostles, man. Right? But the heart of fools is in the house. Oh, sorry. Where was it? 5. It says, it's better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. And like I say, you guys out there making fucking rap videos and shit, man, you're just fucking clowns, man. Trying to be fucking hip, trying to be trendy. Like I said, to attract other Negroes in that failed rap careers. Oh, I could do it in the Israelite community. There's competition. It's foolish, man, and that's how we see it. We see it as folly. It's just folly, man. It's stupidity, waste of time. Right? That is not what the Lord commands us to do, man. We're here to teach, not look cool. Yahawashi didn't look cool, right? Yahawashi looked like a regular man. Like I said, he didn't look the best. He wasn't a comely looking man. He weren't wearing, silk garments and all this kind of stuff. Like he wasn't a noble man to look at. Through his miracles and through his teachings did he get his renown. Not because the Lord could do a fucking windmill. You know what I'm saying? But we can do. He got skills. It wasn't about none of that. You have a cancer, gimmicked out, man. All right. It says, for as the cracking of thorns under a pot, so is laughter of a fool. So is the laughter of a fool. This also is vanity. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart. Right? And so we're in this captivity, man. We're pissed off everything that we see. We're pissed off with the lies that we lead. Things just ain't fucking right, man. Right? So it makes us pissed off. Right? But a gift destroyeth the heart. Well, a bunch of you guys got 501c3s, right, from the government, from Esau, right? Well, you can say you received that gift. Okay, that tax-free exemption status, man. You received that gift, right? And it destroyed your mind, man, because now you're on some bullshit. Now you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now you got other agendas. It says, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Okay, we're waiting for our glory, exalting. These guys, they want, like I said, when they jump the gun, they want to feel important. They want to, put all the spangly garments on, right, to make themselves feel good, right? Have the command over people to make themselves feel good, to feel like they're in the fucking kingdom already, man, because they got charge over men and they hold this position and they got this money and, but the patient in spirit is better. We're waiting for our turn. This isn't our turn. We're waiting for Yahawashi to share his inheritance with us, man. And so we'll be as lowly as we need to be, as the Lord requires us to be, until then. We're not concerned of status and appearance and, wealth and all these things. Yes, we want these things, but that time is not for us now. We was, told to be patient, commanded to be patient. These guys have lost sight of that. All right, so one more. I'll close out. Ouch. Oh. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 1. It wasn't. Solomon speaking, I believe, right? So, and I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. And I perceived that this also is a vexation of spirit. It says, for much wisdom is much grief, right? And Yahawashi had all the wisdom. So you can see he's very grieved, right? He saw everything for what it is, all the lies and all the wickedness that was going on, you know. And the same way, you know, it abhors the Heavenly Father to look upon wickedness. It was the same for Yahawashi, man. And yet he had to bear it. He had to see all of it, man, and be here with it all. You know, so no doubt his spirit was vexed, extremely. All right? It says, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increases knowledge increases sorrow. So, you know, so you can imagine Yahawashi just being the most solemn dude, man. You know what I'm saying? The most stoic dude that you might have ever met. And I said, I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't have any remembrance of that if I was there, and it's not written here in the scriptures, because this is not a daily diary of everybody in the truth. You know, these were events that took place in different amounts of time, right? It's not an insight to man's private lives and lives behind, you know, these events, right? But you can tell from the character of Yahawashi that's given to us, man, Yahawashi wasn't in a partying mood. That's for sure. Right? He wasn't a party goer. He weren't living it up, man. You know, man was drinking to get the pain, you know, because man was mad. You know? He weren't out here throwing feasts and stuff and throwing jugs of wine in the air. You know what I'm saying? Man wasn't doing all of that, man. Dancing on top of tables and shit. The Lord wasn't doing none of that. You know, he had like I said, he had his disciples and his apostles around him, and he was expounding stuff, giving them wisdom all the time, man. You know, they shared drinks, they broke bread. Yeah, of course they did, just like we do. At the same time, we're having spiritual conversations. You know, like I say, you ain't gonna find brothers dancing on fucking tabletops. You know what I'm saying? Throwing drinks in the air. Yeah, you're not gonna see that, but you might do at these clowns party. Yeah, they're just that, parties, man. Passover, it's a party for them. You might see them guys doing some dumb shit like that. You know, and they said, man at the club, you know, with bitches twerking on them and shit at the Passover. You know, bro, come on, bro. You think Yahawashi was gonna be there with you, man? Fuck. But you guys want to play it off like it's nothing, man. Like it's not even a big deal. The Lord ain't dealing with your other camps, man. And that's just the truth. All right? And Lord willing, well, for sure, right? But, you know, if there are any of you, of the elect in these other camps, man, you're going to come out of them. Okay? You're going to come to the understanding, man. The Lord's going to pull your ass out of there before that shit capitulates, man, and it's destroyed. You know? But yeah, but wow, this went a lot longer than I thought it would have. But Lord, when this is edifying, so you know, it's a spirit at the end of the day. So yeah, again, I hope this is edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on a long video on the next video, man. So till next time, I say shalom.